All right, last segment. Get Warrior Tough. Number is 855-856-1380, 855-856-1380. Hashtag Get Warrior Tough on Twitter. All right, Dutch, so I want to give the formal definition of leadership because I studied this out, because I really wanted to know what it was and the root of it. And that's what I do. I dig in on these things, and I kind of attack it almost like an attorney, a lawyer would. But so leadership comes from the Old English word, and it's derived from the word craftsmanship. And it literally means skill in influencing direction, course of action, attitudes, and opinion. So let me say it again. It is skill or craftsmanship in influencing attitudes, opinions, course of direction, and course of action. So this is what all leadership is that it's a skill. So if it is a skill, that tells me right there that you are not born with it, that it must be learned and practiced and honed.
Absolutely. It can be acquired. It can be, you can go get the skill. And that's what most people, that's probably one of the biggest misperceptions about it, is that people think that it is something you're born with, that it is an exclusive thing to a certain group. That's completely not true. You can catapult yourself into that group with the training that we do and never look back.
Yeah, and because it is a skill, because it can be learned and honed, once you know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, you will never again fear taking charge or fear being in charge or fear filling that leadership gap, that void. You will never again fear influencing course of direction. You will never again fear influencing an action. You'll never again fear influencing attitudes and opinions, including your own and those of others. Like the days of being a sheep and just being told what to do, when to do, and how to do it, that's over. You actually begin to think and direct and guide yourself. You're like a self-guided missile, Dutch. It's like a guidance system, man.
You're not afraid to be called upon. That's the funny thing, is that when we're in class and we don't know the answer, everyone's afraid that a teacher's going to call upon them. Well, in this real world, events happen, things happen in the real world, and then leaders are called upon. And you can be called upon at any moment. You don't need to be afraid to be called upon to step up.
No, I'm like, ooh, pick me, ooh, in the back, right? I'm over there jumping up and down with I know the answer over here, ooh. Right?
And we got people hiding.
Right.
And we should be searching for those opportunities. We should be looking for problems to solve, but we're hiding, afraid to get called upon because we're not prepared.
Now, you and I had this conversation earlier. I don't know if it was like today or yesterday. I can't remember. But we were talking about that there is going to be a time that you will find yourself in a leadership position, whether it's formally or informally. You don't know. I mean, it could be like even if you're the babysitter, right? You find yourself in a position of leadership. So there will be a time when circumstances, situation will happen, and it'll put you in that position where people are looking to you to lead. If you're not prepared, what are you going to do?
Or more importantly, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
What are the people that's counting on you going to do? What if those people are your children? What if they're relatives? What if they're friends or co-workers, family members, anything? And God forbid a tragedy happens, and you're the only one capable of leading at that moment. What are you going to do? Are you going to run and hide? Or is the whole group going to perish because you couldn't step up for the challenge? Now, you don't have to worry about that stuff when you've been prepared, when you've been trained, when you're ready for that. This is not just about your life. It begins with your life, but it can be about so many others. Are you prepared to be that leader?
Well, that's a really you got to take an objective reality position on that and look in the mirror and then say, yep, am I ready? Am I not ready? What would I do? How would I do it? But this is the funny thing, Dutch, and I was talking to one of my friends today. We were actually traveling together, just an awesome dude and a Citadel grad, and we were talking about how parents will dump thousands of dollars into training their kids. They're sending their kids to sports camps, but not spending a dime on investing in leadership, skills, communication skills, life skills. And you know what? We learned it when we were kids. We have adults do the same thing, man. Adults will not spend a dime on taking care of investing in learning how to do this stuff. And these are not soft skills. They're called soft skills, but that's a lie. They're hard skills. They're the hardest ones to master because it starts with mastering your body, your mind, and your emotions. It's mastering yourself first.
And it's funny how we call it the biggest and most important skills, and people will tell you that they're the biggest, most important skills, that we minimize them like that. I mean, the skills that can get you through any and everything in life are the ones we most minimize. And it's just ridiculous. Again, the athletic budgets that parents have employed, that they deploy out there into the world are temporary. They're temporary.
Oh, yeah, that stuff, it goes away. I mean, and let me just kind of roll this in because I had this on this interview with Jordan Spieth this week with the Masters and his meltdown. And I said, his temptation will be to get the swing coach in and tinker with it's not the physical game that's his problem. See, this is what Tiger Woods did too, right? My game's messed up, so let me get the swing coach in here and we'll change everything. That's the temptation, is to only deal with the outside. And no, that's a no. It goes to your mental and your emotional, your internal identity. That's where we need to be taking care of business first, and then that's ground zero, and then we push our airspace out. Let's stop trying to fix the external stuff before we take care of the internal. And really, it's just so backwards, man.
It is, and and that's not what the word am I looking for? That shouldn't surprise us, because in almost every aspect of society, that's what we're taught to deal with. We're taught to deal with what we see. We're taught to deal with the superficial. All those things are the most important, and we're never challenged to go beyond that. And so, and that's why the elite warrior percentage that we talk about is so small.
Oh, it's
because
tiny,
those
man.
are the
It's
those
so
are the
tiny.
few. Absolutely, those are the few that have decided to challenge themselves and challenge conventional wisdom to try to be better.
So so how do you break through that? I mean, how do you break through that crust or that autopilot program, that societal, whatever taboo of, let's go work on our internal stuff and let's just keep everything external, on the surface? How do we break through that, Dutch?
2 minutes.
What you have to do first and foremost is, when you see an opportunity to get better at something, you do it. You invest in it. You invest in yourselves. You just do it. I mean, it's simple. Us offering this information right here, there are some people that's going to walk away from it, and there are some people who are going to say, you know what? I'm going to give this a shot, and I'm going to go all in, because I identify that all these other things I've been doing have not worked. They have not produced the fruit that I wanted to. Let me look at myself. Let me see what I'm doing wrong. Let me do that introspective look into all of this, and just do it. I hate to steal Nike's slogan,
Right.
but just do it.
So you just got to jump in. Take the Nestea plunge, as I like to say, right? Remember the Nestea plunge, Dutch?
Absolutely.
Come on in, guys. The water's fine.
I've heard about that from some of the older people that I know.
Yeah. You got gray in your beard. Don't even try it. Listen, I know you like Klondike bars, but you started out on Eskimo pies, right? That's like a 50s version of Eskimo, right? So, but no,
What's that?
yeah, what's that? It's, but we make it so simple. I mean, it can't be any easier than what we've laid it out for folks to grab a hold of. And it's funny, because if you look at the percentages, it really is like the 1% that will invest in themselves to make their lives better. The rest of them, we just complain about it. It really is. And I talk about this all the time, the avoider approach, right? Most people will not approach a better life. They'll just avoid a worse life. And until there's enough pain and consequences of them not taking action, they won't move. But they'll complain about it the whole time. They'll complain about how they hate their job, and they hate their spouse, and they hate their kids, and they hate the neighborhood, and they hate all this and that. But they won't do anything to make any changes, but they'll just keep complaining. And that is a huge number of people.
Amen, brother.
All right. Getting off the soapbox. Another week, an hour is gone. We love you. Go to the website, getwarriortough.com. Find a handle, hook in. We'll see you next week. Peace out.